This is the story of Carthage, a city born from exile, grief, and a queen's unbreakable will. In 814 BC, a woman known to history as Dido, or Elissa, landed on the shores of what is now Tunisia. She was not a conqueror by choice, but a refugee. She was fleeing the city of Tyre, a great Phoenician metropolis, and the tyranny of her own brother, Pygmalion. Pygmalion, consumed by greed, had murdered Dido's husband, Acerbus, for his immense wealth. With her heart shattered and her life in peril, Dido gathered a loyal following of Tyrians who were also disillusioned with the king's cruelty. They loaded their ships with their families and whatever treasures they could carry and set sail across the Mediterranean, their hearts heavy with the sorrow of a homeland lost forever. They were a people adrift, bound by a shared tragedy and a desperate hope for a new beginning. Their journey was perilous. They sailed under a merciless sun, their backs bent like the bowed spirits of the displaced. Every wave that crashed against their hulls was a reminder of the life they had left behind, and every unfamiliar coastline sparked a mix of fear and possibility. Finally, they arrived on the North African coast, a land ruled by the local Libyan king, Yarbuz. They were outsiders, vulnerable and in need of a place to call home. This is where one of the most famous legends of antiquity takes shape. Dido, a shrewd and intelligent leader, approached King Yarbuz to bargain for land. She asked for only as much land as could be encompassed by a single bull's hide. The king, likely amused by what seemed like a modest and harmless request, agreed. But Dido was no fool. She took the bull's hide and had her followers cut it into the thinnest possible strips. They then laid these strips end to end, forming a long, continuous line that enclosed a surprisingly large area of land, the strategic hill that would become known as Bursa, the citadel of their new city. She had tricked the king, securing a foothold not through force, but through cleverness. Each stone they laid on Bursa Hill was a victory snatched from the jaws of despair. The social bonds of these exiles, forged in the fire of their shared escape, grew stronger. They were no longer just Tyrians, they were becoming something new. They were building a city, a new Tyre, a safe haven for their people. They named it Carthage, the new city, which we know today as Carthage. The location was perfect. Situated on a peninsula with excellent natural harbors, Carthage was destined for greatness on the sea. The city grew rapidly, its walls rising in tearful defiance of the past. The Tyrian colonists, with their centuries of maritime experience, quickly established lucrative trade routes across the Mediterranean. They became masters of the sea, their ships laden with precious goods. One of their most famous exports was a vibrant purple dye, extracted from sea snails, a luxury so rare and expensive it became synonymous with royalty and power throughout the ancient world. Carthage also became a hub for the trade of silver, timber, and other resources, growing into a formidable maritime superpower. Its wealth was immense. Its influence spreading from the shores of Africa to Spain, Sardinia, and Sicily. For a time, it seemed that Dido's desperate dream had not only been realized but had blossomed into an empire that rivaled any in the world. Yet, the story of its founding queen does not end in triumph. It ends in tragedy. As Carthage flourished, its power became a source of both pride and anxiety for its neighbors. King Yarbuz, the very same ruler Dido had outsmarted for her land, watched the city's rise with growing concern. He saw its strength and desired it for himself. He delivered an ultimatum to Dido: marry him and unite their peoples, or face war. Dido was trapped. To refuse meant certain destruction for the city she had built from nothing. To accept meant betraying the memory of her murdered husband, to whom she had sworn eternal fidelity. Her people, fearing war, urged her to accept the king's proposal for the good of the state. Torn between her duty as a queen and her personal vows, Dido saw only one way out. According to the Roman poet Virgil's epic, the Aeneid, Dido's fate is intertwined with the Trojan hero Aeneas, who shipwrecks at Carthage on his journey to found Rome. They fall deeply in love, but the gods command Aeneas to leave and fulfill his destiny. His departure leaves Dido heartbroken and abandoned. While this romantic tale is a later addition to her story, the original legend is just as tragic and rooted in her unwavering loyalty. Faced with Yarbusa's ultimatum, Dido announced that she would first perform a ceremony to honor the spirit of her late husband. She ordered a great funeral pyre to be built in the center of the city. As the flames rose high into the sky, she climbed to the top. There, before the eyes of her horrified people, she took her own life, choosing death over a forced marriage and a broken promise. Her final act, according to legend, was a curse upon any who would seek to harm her city, a curse that history would seemingly fulfill in Carthage's epic and brutal conflicts with a rising power across the sea, Rome. So, the city of Carthage was born in exile and founded in grief. It rose to become a beacon of Punic glory, a testament to the resilience of a displaced people. But its spirit was seated with the tragedy of its founder. The cost of its creation lingered, a lament for the queen who built an empire but found her own end in its flames. From the Tyrian dusk to the Carthaginian dawn, the story of Dido is a haunting reminder of the human cost of empire. Was her city blessed by the Phoenician gods like Baal Hammon? Or was it doomed from the start by the curse buried in its founder's ashes? The full veil over Carthage's founding remains drawn, its stones echoing with silent cries of lost loves and fallen dreams. As we look back at its forsaken shores, we can't help but wonder what untold heartaches still guard the legacy of the purple dye. Thank you so much for watching. What part of Dido's story resonates most with you? Share your reflections in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the past, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more stories from history.